The Veterans Day is coming up, and you know what that means? That annual question, what's actually open and what's closed? It can be kind of confusing, right? So today, we're going to cut right through all that noise with a quick, simple guide to help you plan your day. Okay, let's get into it. So, is this one of those holidays where the whole country just shuts down? Not quite. It's one of those days where some places are locked up tight, while for others, it's business as usual. And yeah, the confusion is real, but the reason for it is actually pretty straightforward. And the whole secret is right here. Veterans Day is a federal holiday. That one word, federal, is the key to the entire puzzle. You see, the day was set up to honor everyone who's ever served in the US military, and its status as a federal holiday pretty much decides everything that follows. So, if we just follow that federal logic, let's start with the category that's most affected. If it's run by the government, you can bet it's probably taking the day off. This brings us to our number one rule of thumb for the day. Just ask yourself, is this a government service? If the answer is yes, then you can almost always assume it's closed. We're going to use this simple rule as our guide for pretty much everything. And you can really see how that federal rule just trickles all the way down. Since it's a federal holiday, it's also a state-level holiday in almost every single state. I think Wisconsin is the main exception. So that means your local DMV, any state offices, and yep, most public schools are going to be closed. A lot of cities will also pause services like trash pickup, but that one can vary, so it's always smart to just do a quick check on your local town's website. Okay, so government buildings are a no-go. But what about the services that come right to your front door? Let's talk about mail and packages. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. It's the ultimate public versus private divide. Over on the left, you've got the United States Postal Service, which is a federal agency, so completely shut down. No mail delivery, post offices are all closed. But then look over on the right. Private companies like FedEx, UPS, and of course Amazon, they are open for business and running their routes just like any other day. So the bottom line here is pretty simple. If you're waiting on a birthday card or a bill in the mail, that's going to have to wait till tomorrow. But that package you ordered online? Oh yeah, there's a really good chance that's still showing up on your doorstep. All right, so we've established that government stuff is mostly closed. But what about the private sector? You know, if you need to run some errands or maybe grab a bite to eat, well, that is a completely different story. Yeah, for pretty much the entire commercial world, Veterans Day is just another Tuesday. In fact, for a lot of stores, it's actually a pretty big day for sales and special promotions, so you can definitely plan on getting your shopping done. All the big players, Walmart, Target, Home Depot, Costco, Sam's Club, they're all going to have their doors wide open. Still, it's probably not a bad idea to double-check the hours for your specific store, just in case. And the same thing goes if you need to stock the fridge. All the major grocery stores like Kroger, Aldi, Whole Foods, and Trader Joe's will be up and running, so you don't have to worry about planning your meals around any closures. And if you're thinking about dining out, you are absolutely in luck. Most restaurants will be open, and a lot of them use the day to honor service members by offering free meals or some really great discounts for veterans and active duty military. All right, let's tackle one of the areas that seems to cause the most confusion: your money. What is going on with the banks and the stock market on Veterans Day? Okay, this comparison is so important. Over on the left, you've got your bank. Since banks like Chase and Wells Fargo follow the Federal Reserve's holiday schedule, they will be closed. You can't walk in and see a teller, but your ATM card and online banking will work just fine. Now, on the right, that's the stock market. The New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ are private companies, so they're going to be open and trading on their normal schedules. Now, here's one final little nuance for the finance world. While the stock markets are going to be humming along, the U.S. bond market, which is tied much more closely to government schedules, that will be closed for the day. It's a small detail, but a really critical one if you're an investor. So, after going through government, mail, shopping, and finance, let's just boil all of this down into a super simple, easy-to-remember plan for your Veterans Day. It really all comes down to these two steps. First, just assume anything run by the government is closed. That's your easy answer for post offices, banks, and schools. And second, just expect that private businesses are open for business. That covers pretty much all of your shopping, eating out, and package delivery needs. It's really that straightforward. So, with all the logistics and planning taken care of, we can turn our attention back to what really matters. And this slide asks the most important question of the day. Now that you know what to expect, how will you take a moment to honor a veteran? Whether it's someone in your family, a neighbor, or even a stranger, it's the perfect opportunity to remember the true meaning of November.